Afternoon and welcome to the Jet Experience. We're back at Universal again. You can see the globe behind me in the entrance. Today's video is going to be a little bit more of like tips and things you need to know about coming to Universal Studios. Not so much the rides, because we do that every time, so the rides haven't really changed. If something exciting pops up, we might film it. But we're gonna head on in through the turnstiles, see what's a little bit different, and join us on this experience. So one of the very first new things we see, as they've recently started doing it, is for pre-ticketed out-of-state guest check-in. So guests outside of California, they have to show proof of vaccination. So out-of-state visitors can come to the park, but you do need to be fully vaccinated to do so. Next new thing is the big wall that was right in here is gone. I thought it was for COVID, but Ashley corrected me and pointed out that it was for refurbishment. So now the statue's all open. You can see people already taking pictures with it. And then I just clarified with the team members up front about the out-of-state guests, because I said, what about kids since there's no vaccine? And they said the way it is right now, if you're under 16, because there's no vaccine, then you can't come in if you're out of state. So only adults or those 16 and over that have been fully vaccinated. All right, so Universal, unlike Disneyland, still has their wait time boards. I'm gonna zoom in. I don't know how well you can really see it in the glare, but we'll just talk about them. Oh, it just changed on me. We'll wait till it comes back. So these are the times today. Longest one right now, Jurassic World, 180 minutes. Studio Tour, 160 minutes. We've got several 120, 130 minutes. The shortest one I see right now is 50 minutes, Kung Fu Panda, but then it's 60 minutes at Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey. Even Hippogriff is 65 minutes. So if you can afford it, my absolute recommendation would be to upgrade to the Express Pass, or which you can buy right there. You can see with the tower that's listed, Universal Plaza. Or if you have one of the annual passes, which gives you the express lanes, which is what we're gonna do. It's about 2 o'clock. We're not even gonna bother trying to ride any rides until 4 o'clock when we get the express lane pass entry. So that way we can skip a lot of the long lines. So we're gonna do a show. In the meantime, the animal actors kill some time, and then kind of just walk around and see what's here in the park before we try to ride any rides. All right, so I went over and asked them what it would actually cost here at Hollywood to upgrade to the Express Pass on today's ticket. Granted, we already have it, so we don't need it. So this is what she said. She immediately told me it's sold out, but it otherwise would have been $100 to do it. And so I asked her when it sold out, and she said that she started at around noon and it was already sold out by then, so probably around 11, she thinks. And the park opened at 9, I believe. Basically, within an hour or two of them opening, it was already sold out. So if your plan is to upgrade to an Express Pass, make sure you either do it in advance if you can, or get here early right when they open to be able to get it, because if you expect to show up at like noon and get it, it might be gone. All right, so we just finished filming actually our very first ever live stream for everybody that tuned in. Thank you very, very much. And to our very special fans that actually came up to us and said they were watching us at that moment, thank you and welcome to the channel. If you're new, if not, welcome back. It was super awesome for you to come up and say hi. And for everybody, if you're ever out there, please come up and say hi to us. We definitely don't bite. But so for another tip, you can see we're over at Animal Actors. We're gonna catch a show right now. Obviously there's no wait line or wait time or lines for this besides the line once they open it up to let people in. So it can get you out of standing in lines. You can see there's netting over. There's the sun right there. I mean, I'm right in the crack between the two, so I'm actually getting a little sun right now. Wouldn't have been my preferred spot, but we got seated here. So it gives you something to do where you're not having to wait hours in a line. And it's just something fun. I think this is the only show running right now, but it is completely outdoors, which is probably why. I do like the special effects show. I just don't know when or if they'll be able to open that one up.
Now these birds are not endangered, but many of your native species are. We here at Universal ask that you do your part to ensure beautiful birds like these never ever become endangered. Pepper's trainer Amanda is going to place her into a strong current of wind so we can film her. Step 2, add a little bit of movie magic. Check out that big screen. Fantastic job, you two!
All right, so we had a question on our last Universal video about the freestyle drinks and whether or not they were doing it right now. So I did find a team member to ask, and they are not doing freestyle drinks right now. I asked, if it was mostly just, pandemic related. And she basically said, yes, it's related to that partly. And what they were told is that they're not doing it right now, only doing bottled drinks and for the foreseeable future right now. So if you're gonna come to Universal and expect to be able to get one of those cups that you can use all year throughout the park, you cannot do that yet in Hollywood. So I do need to come back and correct one little inaccurate piece of information that I've mentioned a couple times over the last few videos, but it's because we were confusing it with Orlando. So we tried to go through the express lane for Transformers, and it kept ringing up wrong. So they recommended we go over to guest relations, so we did, and we were able to get a temporary one-day ticket for the express lanes. And while we were there, I was asking questions about it, and it turns out that it's not only after 4 o'clock, it's one express lane per ride per day, any time of the day. So once again, that changes things. That'll change how we come to the park now. We could have probably been done already. It's pretty much at sunset now, but that's good to know. So the next time we come, we won't just wait around till 4. We'll just go ahead and start getting in the express lanes. So I just wanted to clear that up. So if you do have a Platinum Pass or one of the passes that gives you that entry, double check your terms and conditions and make sure that it's all day and not just after 4 like Orlando is. Okay, so last tip before we close it out tonight, it's actually a twofer. So, they're both for Secret Life of Pets off the leash. So the first tip is, as we just found out this evening, the virtual line is only for the standby line. If you have Express Pass, you don't need a virtual line for it. And as she explained it to me at the front when I asked, at the front of the ride, is she goes, oh, Express Pass or Express Lane is always Express Lane, no matter what. So didn't know that, otherwise we would have ridden that ride a lot earlier in the day. So if you do have Express Lane or Express Pass, you can just go straight to the front of the ride, go right in Express Lane. You don't need the virtual line or anything, because we actually just waited until it was an open line at the end of the night to go get on. Second tip for that line, if you do have Express Pass, the way that queue is constructed, the lines merge before you get to the ride. So the Express Pass will walk up a long flight of stairs, and then at the top of the stairs it merges with the general standby line. The last 2 times I've ridden it, there's not been a team member there. They explained to me that there normally is, but occasionally they have to step away for a break or whatnot. We did have a little bit of a confrontation this evening when we tried to merge. People didn't like that we were merging, but there was nobody there to help direct traffic, so to speak. So just keep that in mind if you're gonna be in the express lane, or even if you're not in the express lane, when you come around the corner and you see people standing at the top of the stairs, that's what they are. And really it should just be one party from each line merging at one at a time is the most reasonable thing to do there. But besides that, and hope all these tips and little tricks to help you out for your visits on Universal are super helpful, and we hope you like this video. If so, please give us that thumbs up, consider subscribing to the channel, you ring the bell below, get notifications of all of our future videos. As always, please be kind and be real, and join us on our next experience. So one last tip, actually, now that I think about it, as we're back to the car, if you like to park in preferred parking, the Frankenstein structure, specifically level 7, which is basically ground level, if you will, when you drive in, sometimes since the pandemic, this has been converted into front gate parking. It's no longer preferred parking. However, that is where the chargers are in this structure. I don't know that there's any more up above. So if you want to try to park here, and there's only 2 chargers, yellow is preferred. You have to ask them when you're paying for parking for the EV, for the charging. So they'll give you the preferred and not charge you the front gate parking, but give you this extra slip here because if, let's see, you might be able to see on some of those cars over there, they have the pink slip. So that way you're allowed to park in these 2 spots. Otherwise you'll have to go up above and park, especially if these are taken, because again, there's only 2 spots.